probably the biggest dick series, Danzo. And I have not finished looking into Danzo. Well, at least not yet. So, for those who don't know, and I do have to make a correction. I mentioned Shisui Uchiha and Karu Matsukami. And I was trying to remember Shisui's name. Well, it's Shisui the Teleporter, because he was so dang fast. So, Tuesday, we covered everything from Danzo's early beginning to his first world war, to his academy, to making root, to aligning himself with Orochimaru, all the way to Itachi, all the way to Danzo all the way to Danzo telling Itachi, kill your entire family. And so Itachi regrettably did it. But let's continue on. This is after Itachi kills the Uchiha clan. It says, soon after performing the deed, Danzo told everyone that Itachi had done this out of his own will, having grown to despise his clan, and even sought greater power by stealing Shisui's eyes. I'll come back to that in a second. While everyone else believed this fabricated story, Hiruzen saw through Danzo's lie, voicing his disgust at Danzo's actions. While trying to justify his actions by claiming it was for the village, Hiruzen retorted that the Uchiha were part of the village, no longer able to trust Danzo and his underhanded ways. Hiruzen immediately removed him from the council and ordered for his root division to be disbanded. Afterwards, Itachi, disguised as a root member, approached Danzo and threatened to expose Konoha's secrets to the other countries if Danzo ever harmed Sasuke. He met with Tobi, aka Obito, around this time for reasons unknown. Over the years, despite his root division being officially disbanded, Danzo continued to keep it secretly active. Well, that was a mouthful, and what does it all mean? Well, allow me to explain. Danzo tells everyone, yeah, Itachi did it. Itachi did it by his own free will. Itachi wanted more power, so that's why he killed Shisui and took both of his eyes. Why? Danzo, with some of his root members, I don't think they were Anbu. I think they were root. Because the Anbu, it can only act under direct orders of the Hokage. So, yeah. So, Danzo takes Shisui's eye, so he can't perform Karu Matsukami. So, everyone else is like, yeah. Oh, we can't believe Itachi would do such a thing. Hiruzen has a lot of years on him. And Hiruzen just goes, that's not what happened. That's not what happened, is it, Danzo? And Danzo goes, it was for the protection of the village. And Hiruzen goes, he was part of the village. The Uchiha clan were a part of the village. So now I can no longer trust you, and so now I am ordering your root division to be disbanded. Then Itachi goes, if you harm Sasuke, I will kill you. Well, I will expose your secrets. I will expose Konoha's secrets to the rest of the world. So Danzo got what he deserved. Except Danzo secretly kept his root organization active. Well, so much for that. Let's continue. Okay. During the Konoha Crush, the fourth Raikage instituted that the invasion was a secret plot of Danzo with Akatsuki. To dispose of both the Hiruzen and the fourth Kazekage. However, it is unknown whether this really happened. It probably gonna go out on a limb, but it's probably so. After seeing Hiruzen sacrifice himself using the dead demon consuming seal, aka the Reaper Death Seal. To defeat Orochimaru, Danzo decided to teach Sai how to use a powerful Fuin Jutsu, which Fuin in Japanese means sealing. Wait. Fuin? Well, the Reaper Death Seal was a very powerful. Yeah, Fuin just means sealing. Okay. In order to prevent the same from happening to himself, during the training, Danzo noted that Sai could use emotional energy to bolster the power of the attack, but warned the young man not to fall prey to his negative emotions. In the anime, Danzo revealed that he had apparently been in touch with Hanzo even after his betrayal. When Hanzo suddenly stopped contacting him, Danzo met with the Konoha Council and told them to keep an eye on who is no longer alive. Consuming seal, which kills a person. I can actually reference this by going with Hiruzen and Minato, because Minato used the Reaper Death Seal in order to use Kurama, in order to get Kurama's chakra sealed inside himself and sealed inside Naruto, killing him. Hiruzen does the same thing. Hold on. Got it. So, how come we never hear about this? How come we never hear about this Fuinjutsu? It's not referenced in the anime. I'm not even sure if it's referenced in the manga. And for as far as I know, we never see Sai use this sealing technique. But let's continue. This is about Danzo's personality. All you need to know about his personality is he's a dick. He is a straight up penis. Personality. When he was younger, Danzo was a hot-headed and eager ninja with a strong desire to prove himself. After a long internal struggle, decided to volunteer himself to buy time for his teammates, though Hiruzen Sarutobi beat him to it. He often displayed as he never wanted to lean on someone or be leaned on. As an adult, Danzo was a completely calm, cold, and collected individual who did not allow his emotions to surface. Due to being raised in times of war, Danzo's beliefs differed from those of the Hokage, as he felt that the interests of the village should be placed above all else, even ethics and morals. Danzo seemed to hate the previous Hokage's beliefs, stating those beliefs have destroyed the village after Pain's assault on it. Despite using the attack as an attempt to overthrow Tsunade and leaving as citizens in peril, as well as being responsible for Nagato's negative perceptions of Konoha, which lead to its destruction. According to Ko Ko Haru Utakatane. Danzo's was Danzo was very ambitious, but she also stated that all he ever did was for the sake of the village. In the anime, his desire to be a greater and stronger Hokage than Hiruzen made him even attempt to have Hiruzen assassinated, in the belief that the third Hokage had lost the capability to effectively lead the village. An extremist closely with the international criminal Orochimaru experiments in order to increase his physical capabilities. Danzo possessed a factual and arbitrary adherence to the ideals of a shinobi, who believing they must sacrifice absolutely everything for the village. However, Danzo hypocritically feared death. Hiding this fear behind hiding this fear behind a belief that his survival was necessary for the sake of the shinobi world itself. He would only conquer this fear in the last moments of his life, boldly attempting to kill Sasuke and Tobi for the sake of his village and the entire shinobi world, with his suicide and destroying Shisui's eye with his dying breath. Okay, I read a lot there. What am I trying? What did all of that just say? Basically saying, basically it says that when Danzo was young, he wanted to prove himself, and when Danzo became an adult, he was a cold human being, never letting his emotions show. His ideals of a shinobi was that a shinobi should give everything to, even though he feared death until his final moments of life, when he used a reverse tetragram seal and leaving Shisui's eye to be useless. Let's continue. Despite his reputation as a multi-artist, Danzo ultimately sought peace for the ninja world. One he would achieve by uniting all shinobi forces under his control. As such, he sought the title of Hokage, waiting patiently for decades before an opportunity arose. Danzo's pursuit of peace followed, and ends justifies the means. As such, he had no remorse taking any immortal actions as long as it would benefit Konoha. To that end, he worked in the shadows to ensure that this future came to fruition. He used Root to eliminate potential threats to the Hidden Leaf Village, with or without the consent of the Hokage, and to further him along the path to achieving the position, as he believed he was best prepared for the necessary transition because of the nature of his actions. Danzo could not allow the ideals. No, not ideals. Danzo could not allow the details of what he had done to become public knowledge. And thus, he branded members of Root with cursed seals to prevent them from revealing his secrets. Danzo also believed Konoha was strongest and most stable when the village had a target to focus its anger and hatred on. To this end, Danzo was key in stigmatizing the Uchiha clan to the result of the village, and was the one to secretly leak out the knowledge that Naruto Uzumaki was the container of the nine-tailed fox, ensuring the villagers would loathe him as a result. Danzo, who views Danzo also views the members of Root as expendables pawns, and shows no remorse in having them perform duties that could result in permanent injury, as shown in his ordering Fu to gouge out Ao's Byakugan, despite the fact it would result in Fu losing his eye as well. Danzo is also treacherous by nature, as shown in his betrayal of Hanzo despite their previous alliance. Likewise, should an ally prove too capable for his comfort, Danzo will see to their elimination, as he attempted to do with both Nono and Kabuto Yakshi. Itachi also believed Danzo had no intention of honoring his promise of sparing Sasuke. When he accepted the mission to kill his own clan and had to threaten to leak Konoha's secrets to enemy villages and risk his own safety by returning to Konoha after Hiruzen's death to ensure Sasuke's safety, he was willing to do anything to further his and political powers, as shown in allowing himself to be experimented on with Hashirama's cells by Orochimaru in order to gain the power to control the tailed beast and extend his use of Izanagi. He also broke international law by manipulating Mifune into making him supreme commander of the allied shinobi forces. In his later years, Danzo had become somewhat delusional, believing that he would be able to change the shinobi world, even though his actions at the Kage Summit lost him his credibility. Danzo also had no hesitation in stealing Shisui's right eye in order to gain access to Katsuo Matsukami, despite his unquestionable loyalty to Konoha over his own clan and the fact he was a descendant of someone who had once been Danzo's own comrade. Toby deduced Danzo's intent to seize control of the Nine Tails from Naruto by using his multiple Sharingan. Danzo also shown to be extremely arrogant, as seen in his gloating during his final clash with Sasuke, believing he had won, and only he is capable of changing the entire world, despite his self-righteous, immoral, and draconic dry cannon methods. Danzo had a sense of nobility and dignity. He reprimanded Sasuke for his hatred and violence against Konoha, saying that it had wasted both the sacrifice of the Uchiha and Itachi's own personal sacrifices. Like Hiruzen, he used the final moments of his life to help Konoha by trying to take Sasuke and Tobi with him. Despite his envy against the third and their growing rivalry, he seemed to still care for his boyhood friendship with Hiruzen, reminiscing of his childhood memories with him and asking what he was to Hiruzen in his final moments. His fellow elders, Hiroma Mitsukoto and Karu Yugatane, held Danzo in high regard, and often his advice when dealing with the politics of the village. It is unknown how much they knew about the full extent of his. They probably didn't know much. Why do I say that? Because Danzo kept everything in secret. Okay, appearance. Danzo appeared as a frail old man. Yeah, he does. Who would normally walk with a cane. He had black, shaggy hair, and his right eye was bandaged, concealing a Sharingan underneath. Danzo has had an X-shaped scar on his chin ever since his youth. He wore a white shirt with a black or gray with a black or dark gray robe over the top of it. Covering from his feet to just over his right shoulder. The robe conceals his right arm, which was bandaged and covered with three large golden braces. The bandages hid an arm implanted with 10 more Sharingan, originally belonging to Shin Uchiha, and the image of the first Hokage's face protruding from his right shoulder, while Hashirama's cells were injected into his body. In his youth, Danzo was quite handsome. He had the same shaggy hairstyle, except it was much longer, reaching eye level. He also wore the standard armor of that era, which covered his black chest areas and lower abdominal, while leaving his shoulders armorless. With this, he wore a black outfit with matching wrist guards and a shuriken holder on his right upper leg, a pouch tied to his waist with bandages, and a forehead protector. At that time, he still has both of his normal brown eyes. He hid the right eye with bandages by the time he untied. No. By the time he united with Hanzo in their attack against Akatsuki, led by Yaiko, and wore a flask jacket, it was also shown that at least around the time of the Third Shinobi World War, he wore a black hooded trench coat and high length sandals. As a child, Danzo's attire consisted of a short dark green kimono tied with a sash. Let's continue. Okay. Abilities. As the leader of the Root and the 6th Hokage candidate, Danzo was likely a formidable shinobi. Danzo's skills were held in high regard by the elders Hiroma and Karu, as they considered him one of Konoha's strongest ninja, even up until his death. His power was such that Kakashi expressed intense shock learning that he had been defeated single-handedly by Sasuke Uchiha. This defeat was partly attributed to his old age and because he was holding back to fight Tobi and unable to use Shisui Uchiha's Mangekyo Sharingan. Okay. Body modifications. Danzo's right eye was that of Shisui Uchiha's Sharingan in the anime. Shisui's was not the first Sharingan Danzo had. He was very skilled at using it, able to detect multiple assassins in an area. He could also use Katsumatsukami, the ultimate genjutsu of Shisui's Mangekyo Sharingan, through which he could manipulate other people's thoughts without them being aware of it. This technique seemingly did not require direct eye contact, as demonstrated when Danzo manipulated Mifune's thoughts without exposing his Sharingan. Danzo stated that it was not an ability he could use frequently. Danzo has even stated that Orochimaru's data could help with his eye, presumably wanting to increase his ability to use it. Just before his death, Danzo destroyed the eye in fear that it could one day be used against Konoha. Danzo's most fearsome trait was his right arm, originally belonging to Shin Uchiha. Danzo's arm was implanted with 10 Sharingan and was enhanced with Hashirama Senju's DNA. Ao also noted that the color of the chakra in his right eye was also that of Shisui's. He originally kept the right he normally kept the arm hidden under bandages and a gauntlet-like seal. Presumably to conserve chakra and keep the eyes even amongst the Uchiha clan. When activated, Danzo temporarily gained to turn his own body into a physical illusion, which could nullify any injury he received from an opponent. This allowed him to survive otherwise fatal attacks, while retaining the ability to inflict physical to his opponent. Izanagi gave him another benefit from after being killed. Danzo would appear elsewhere away from danger. Using this technique, Danzo was able to catch Shisui off guard and steal his Sharingan. However, the side effect of the technique However, the side effect of the technique was that for every 60 seconds Izanagi remained activated, Danzo would lose the use of one of his Sharingan. Also, even with Danzo's physical energy augmented by Hashirama's cells, it still took a substantial amount of chakra to sustain the technique. Danzo was implied to be able to use Shisui's eye for Izanagi, but did not in order to avoid sacrificing Katsumatsukami. Danzo's Izanagi is considered incomplete due to his lack of mastery over Hashirama's cell. Regardless, Danzo would abuse the usage of Izanagi to keep himself invincible for a maximum of 10 minutes. When he felt it was necessary, as opted to the original meaning of the technique to be a last resort for the wielder to change a situation to their favor. Due to the integration of Hashirama's cells, Danzo also gained the shinobi's ability to heal nearly any wound without the use of hand seals. According to Toby, Danzo's possession to both Uchiha and Senju DNA most likely meant that he was after Naruto with the potential capability to control Kurama. We're getting to the end, guys. Now it's on to his ninjutsu. Danzo could utilize multiple nature transformations, which included wind, earth, water, and fire release, as well as yin and yang release. He was particularly proficient in wind release, exhaling powerful vacuum-based attacks that could either slash like blades or pierce like bullets. If needed, he could use enhanced or localized variations, which were strong enough to destroy an extremely durable wooden dome or damage a humanoid Susanoo's defenses. Danzo could also use his wind chakra to maneuver himself in midair, as well as infuse wind into his weapons to increase their offensive power. Possessing the first Hokage's cells in his right arm, granted Danzo the ability to use wood release, albeit with a significant toll on his chakra. This combined with the fact that his overall skill with his technique was quite rudimentary, prompted him to only use it when necessary. It also appeared that he could only use the wood release after suffering a fatal wound in his battle against Sasuke. Danzo lost control of Hashirama's cells, which began to rapidly grow into a large tree that threatened to engulf him completely. To prevent that, he broke off his right arm, causing him to lose this ability. Next is Fuinjutsu. Danzo was well versed in Fuinjutsu and cursed seals. To prevent his secrets from being exposed, Danzo placed binding seals on the tongues of every root member. Should a root member speak openly of root and Danzo's activities, the seal would activate and instantly paralyze the member's body. The seals vanished when Danzo died. Danzo could also implement binding seals in battle, which was shown when he placed the seal on Sasuke, temporarily paralyzing him. Lastly, upon his death, Danzo revealed his most powerful sealing technique, the reverse four symbols sealing. The technique caused four seal symbols on Danzo's skin to exit from his body and form a large sphere around him. Everything inside the spear was drawn in and imprisoned within his corpse. After the sealing was complete, the seals could still be seen on Danzo's body. Alrighty. Now on to summoning technique. Danzo had access to a very unique summoning. A giant tapir-like creature known as a Baku, described as the Nightmare Eater, a creature. The area in front of it, the Baku section, could also be used to increase the power of Danzo's wind techniques. However, using the suction left the creature vulnerable against fire techniques. Danzo was adept in both using and dispelling high-level genjutsu, even from powerful Sharingan users like Sasuke. He also had some skill in taijutsu and a decent amount of physical strength despite his old age. Being able to repel Karin with one kick. Danzo was also quick, quite fast and agile, as he was able to catch Sasuke off guard, and in the anime was able to evade a large amount of debris falling on him. Additionally, Danzo was also skilled in the use of kinjutsu as seen against the Pajana group. Part 2. Danzo assigned Sai to Team Kakashi as part of a plan to secretly assassinate Sasuke Uchiha. To achieve that goal, Danzo had Sai make contact with Orochimaru in a ruse to make it seem he wanted to join forces with him to destroy Konoha. When Sai failed his mission but asked to remain with Team Kakashi, Danzo allowed him to do so, while reminding the young man that emotions brought hatred, which in turn led to war. In the anime, Danzo was shown being followed by Anbu agents on Tsunade's orders. When he was to be briefed by Tachu, a spy of his in Amgakure, he and Tachu were apprehended by the Anbu and later questioned by Tsunade, although the interrogation was interrupted by Sora, who was discovered eavesdropping. When Pain began his assault on Konoha, Tsunade asked Toad the Toad Kosuke to retrieve Naruto Uzumaki from Mount Ibuku to help defend the village. In the anime, Danzo went to Shimura and Karu to tell them that Tsunade was risking the possible loss of the fourth Hokage's legacy and the Nine Tails by calling Naruto back. However, Danzo waited until everyone had left the room and killed Katsuki in an attempt to stop Naruto from returning. Danzo then gathered his root, Anbu, and instructed them not to aid Konoha in the hopes that Pain's actions would end Tsunade's reign as Hokage. When asked if all the villagers would not then die, Danzo denied this, claiming that Tsunade's medical abilities would save most of them. Following the invasion, leaders of the Land of Fire and Konoha gathered for an emergency meeting. Here, despite Shikaku Nara's best efforts, Danzo convinced the Daimyo that previous Hokage's peaceful ideologies had made Konoha weak, and presented himself as the type of leader the village currently needed to enforce the laws of shinobi and bring order to the world. After brief consideration, the Daimyo agreed to appoint him as sixth Hokage candidate. When Danzo returned from the meeting, he received a letter from the fourth Raikage informing him of the approaching Kage Summit and the actions of Sasuke Uchiha. As his first order, Danzo ordered Sasuke's execution for treason, marking him. Although he would have preferred confining Naruto to protect the Nine Tails, Danzo was aware of Naruto's newfound popularity in the village following his defeat of Pain, and settled to have Naruto watched by his agents at all times to ensure he could be made an official Hokage. He also delayed Anku Mitsukashi assassination while ordering his men to find Kabuto Yakushi instead, who was in possession of medical information that could help with his right eye and arm. Danzo later departed for the Kage Summit with Todane Aburame and Fu Yamanaka as his bodyguards, revealing the Sharingan in his right eye socket when they were ambushed by remnant shinobi of the Land of Woods. Along the way. Upon arrival in the Land of Iron, the meetings start. Danzo did not actively participate other than reporting to the other Kage of Madara Uchiha's involvement with Akatsuki. Mifune suggested that the five Kage form an alliance of their villages to eliminate Akatsuki with Danzo as leader, as the fourth Raikage accuses him and Akatsuki rather than Orochimaru of staging the Konoha Crush to dispose of Hiruzen and the fourth Kazekage. Ao exposes Danzo's manipulating Fune before White Zetsu appeared and revealed that Sasuke was nearby. As the Raikage left to eliminate Sasuke, with Ao instructed to keep an eye on Danzo, who explained to the remaining Kage that his ultimate goal was to unify the shinobi nations under one empire, ending the possibility of further war between them. When Sasuke arrived, opportunity to flee, with Ao in close pursuit at some point during their escape. Danzo's party was beset by Black Zetsu's spore technique, but managed to dispatch the clones. Danzo ordered Fu to stop Ao, and it emphasized that the retrieval of his Byakugan was a top priority. Fu managed to throw Ao off the trail, but failed to retrieve the Byakugan. Him about the Uchiha clan's assassination, hoping to find out if the Konoha elders really did force Itachi to murder his family. Danzo confirmed the story and questioned why Itachi would sacrifice peace to tell Sasuke the truth. Angry that Danzo spoke about his brother casually, Sasuke crushed him with his Susanoo's hand. Despite his apparent death, Danzo was unharmed by Susanoo, as well as Sasuke's subsequent attacks. All the while, Danzo goaded Sasuke by consistently talking about Itachi, prompting him to fully develop his Susanoo. Sasuke used Susanoo to fire an arrow at Danzo, who was forced to use his wood release to divert the attack. Toby, having been observing the battle, surmised that his use of Sharingan and wood release must mean that he planned to control the Nine Tails as well, and that he was using Izanagi with the mini Sharingan on his arm, being sacrificed one by one to escape death. When he was finally reduced to one, Danzo and Sasuke prepared one final attack, breathing wind-natured chakra onto a kunai, creating a blade Danzo prepared to clash with Sasuke's Chidori sharp spear. Danzo believed that he had won and told Sasuke to go and join Itachi before realizing that Sasuke's genjutsu tricked him into thinking he has one more eye left to evade the impalement. His depleted chakra levels, coupled with his new injury, caused him to lose control of his wood abilities, and he was forced to sever his arm before he was turned into a giant. Refusing to accept defeat, Danzo takes Kyuden as a hostage and prepared to use Shisui's eye before Sasuke extended a Chidori sharp spear through Kyuden to stab Danzo's heart. Dying, Danzo staggered towards Sasuke and Toby, thinking about Hiruzen and how no matter what he did, he could never match him, not even having properly become Hokage. With his last breath, he proclaimed that for the sake of the years in the village's growth after the death of the second Hokage, acting as Hiruzen's top intelligence advisor, and through his own sanctioned actions, Danzo's willingness to take on the dark but vital tasks of the village, such as management and management of espionage, the nations of high-profile threats were crucial to the success of the village, though the true extent to which Danzo has both influenced and protected the ninja world will remain predominantly unknown. Certain people, especially those en route, remain adamant that if it were not for Danzo and his actions, peace would not have been maintained for so long. He made it a point to eradicate any opposition to Konoha that would destroy the peace that the village enjoyed. As his final act in protecting the village, he attempted to kill Sasuke Uchiha, a missing nin, from the village, as well as Toby, the mastermind of the terrorist organization Akatsuki. Unsuccessful in this, however, in order to thwart Toby's plans, Danzo crushed Shisui Uchiha's Sharingan before dying, though he has done a great deal in way of protecting Konoha. Danzo had a manipulative diplomaticious and militant perception. No. Perspective born from the era of the three great wars, and at times he was unable to fully clean up and control the blowback of some operations, such as the case of Nagato, Kabuto, and Sasuke. Despite this, the actions of Danzo, Shimura, and Kaoru and Sarutobi in the Uchiha clan did avoid a world-scale conflict, which Sarutobi had failed to stop diplomatically. In an ironic turn of Sasuke had later unwittingly taken up many of Danzo's traits during the Fourth Shinobi World War. After deciding to protect the village, proclaiming that he would change the system of shinobi that he considered the source of all the chaos, the ninja world has endured. After the war, though he remains acting mostly in the shadows. He is not a ruthless. He is not as ruthless as Danzo, that's for sure. Okay. After Danzo's demise, Kakashi and Tsunade worked to tie up all loose ends, researching remaining root facilities and members. However, not wanting the ex-root members to become ostracized because of their history with him, the two Hokage chose not to publicly announce the final report. Also, one of Danzo's most loyal followers and top researchers, Tatsuki Shigarai, grew to resent the village for Danzo's death, and by extension, the disbanding of Root. Wanting revenge, he worked to complete his final project entrusted to him by Danzo, the Gozo Tenno, as a means for his goal. Okay, let's look at his video game appearances, shall we? Okay. Naruto Shippuden, Ultimate Ninja Blazing, which was released in 2016. Then we have Naruto Ultimate Ninja Impact, which was released on October 18th of 2011. Ultimate Ninja Storm 3, which was released on the 5th of March of 2013. Generations, which was released in 2012. Revelation 2014, Naruto Shinobi Collection 2014, and Naruto Shinobi Collection Shippu Ranbu, which was only released in Japan in 2015. Here's some trivia. Here's some quotes. Here's some references. And that is all. All right, everyone. This has been done. This has been my look at Danzo Shimura. Now, if you like this, please give me in the comments below any ideas for videos, and I will get right to them as soon as I can. This has been Hardcore Christopher. Keep it hardcore, everyone.